Rock Alliance, now that we know what the ultimate version of your life and business looks like, we know how you're gonna get there and why you're doing it. Now it's time to learn more about creating impactful relationships. Now, in the real estate business, relationships are everything. I could talk for hours about how important they are. And we are gonna talk about the systematic approach to building your communication ecosystem around your real estate business in later videos. But the acronym you see here on the board is going to directly apply to the core values of our company and our brand. So you're going to hear a lot of similarities and a lot of parallels. But this acronym is ultimately going to teach you how to create and manage impactful relationships. I want you, before we get started, to think to yourself, who in your life has impacted you? Now, for the sake of the video, let's think someone who's impacted you in a positive way, right? They've inspired you. You've learned something from them. They took their time with you, right? You're thinking about these people and you're saying, yeah, they did take their time with me. I did learn something from them. They maybe showed me something I didn't know before. They surprised me in a way. They gave me something. Think about those people, okay, and the positive impact that they've had on your life. Your goal is to now create that impact, whatever it might be, to other people, to build a stronger network of relationships. Now, everyone says that, right? Your net worth is your network, and vice versa. Your network is your net worth. But when you might struggle, like I've struggled before, how do you start creating, right? How do you start creating that network? How do you start building relationships that are ongoing? And that's what we're going to go over right now. So the S stands for surprise. So what I mean by surprise is, it doesn't matter if maybe it's a past client of yours and you send them a closing gift in the mail, right? Or if it's something, when you do something for somebody that they weren't expecting, you went the extra mile for them, right? You had a giver's gain mentality when you gave something to them that surprised them that you would do that without any expectation of anything in return. So surprise comes in a lot of different ways, but one of the easiest ways we teach is about putting things in the mail. There's a psychology to opening presents when something's given to you. Opening it creates a stimulus, right? A dopamine hit of what could it be, who's it from? It's a surprising feeling, it's a good feeling. You can do that in a variety of ways, but ultimately surprise is doing something when it's not expected. So the example I'll give in our real estate business, what we do is, after a closing, someone purchased or sold a home, we wait approximately 10 days to 2 weeks, so 10 to 14 days, and we send them something in the mail, okay? And what we send them in the mail is personal. It's usually handwritten. It could be a gift, but what it does is it surprises them, because if you give it to them at closing, it's kind of expected. All the energy's there, they're excited, but let's let that excitement wear off, right? The event happens, then you go back to real life. You go back to reality, and then bam, you get something in the mail. What is it? Who is it from? What could it be? And you write something detailed and personal. You give them something that means something to them. That's a surprise. You reignite the excitement. You reignite the relationship you had with them. And you establish yourself as somebody to them. That's surprise. And you can do that in a variety of different ways. The T is teach. Now, as you were thinking about people who have impacted your life, chances are, whether it's your mom, your dad, whether it's a mentor, a brother, a sister, a coworker, a boss, chances are, if you found them valuable, they taught you something. They taught you lessons. They showed you things you may have not known before. They helped you further your education. They changed the way you think. That's teaching. So relating it back to real estate, you want to position yourself as an expert. And the way you do that, which we'll get into down the road in your communication ecosystem, is you're constantly giving your people real estate knowledge. You're constantly teaching them things that you've gone out and sourced and you've learned, right? You become the real estate solution. Be the solution for your people. and you give them the education, you give them knowledge, you position yourself as the expert. So that is what the teach is. It's very important. Teach is very, very important that you become the person that provides real value, provides real information to your people. The I is inefficiency. I'm not going to write it because I might spell it wrong. Inefficiency. Now I want you to think about this. Has somebody ever done something for you? Maybe you got something in the mail, maybe someone stopped by your house, maybe someone called you on your birthday. Well, anytime somebody gives you their time, let me back that up. What's the most valuable thing that you have? Your time. When somebody gives you their time, it's inefficient for them to spread their time all over the place, right? So by somebody giving you their time, taking a moment, whether it's giving you something personal, calling you on the phone on your birthday, right? It's inefficient to do that, but in the world we live in a world where we're always looking to how to be more efficient. But let me ask you this. How many letters in the mail have you ever responded to that weren't handwritten? How many emails have you ever responded to that weren't directed and typed by an actual human? Okay? We live in a world where it's how can you be more efficient here, there? How can you take the things a real estate professional is supposed to do on a daily basis and make it more efficient? Well, guess what? Remember this, the value is in the inefficiency. You have to create personalized experiences for your people. That's what they value. And guess what? It's inefficient, but that's where the value is in the inefficiencies. So sometimes not having to think about scale, how can I do this easier? How can I think about what you're doing? You're watering down the power of your service and who you are. You're actually thinning that relationship when you could be strengthening it. So value is always in the inefficiency. And the last one is reconnect. So think about this. You do all these things. You can never do something once and expect results. You must do it over and over and over. And we're going to get into the structure in your communication ecosystem that you're going to build. But when you reconnect, it's not about just going through the motions, right? We're not going to be just going through the motions and I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to that. You're doing everything with the intent to manage and build a stronger relationship with whoever you're doing this with, whatever person, which should be everybody in your life. But you have to do it more than once. But when you reconnect, you're not just reconnecting for the sake of doing the exercises again, but you're sparking another conversation. You're seeing somebody in person. You all know those conversations that are just, barely scratch the surface, right? Where it's kind of like a, hey, how are you? Oh, good to see you. How you been? Great, I'm good. Oh, okay, well, hey, we should get together soon. Yeah, okay, sounds good. That's a surface level conversation. And if you're using your client retention management system the best way you can, you'll have intimate details about each person you come across. We're gonna get into that CRM usage category, but when you reconnect, you're either making a personal phone call to somebody, you're seeing them in person, you're meeting them at an event, you're meeting them at a get-together, and you're really connecting that you are a valuable relationship with to them and that you know them. Not just surface level conversation, but you're looking to become more interested than you are interesting. You're interested in how you can help this person, how you could be more of service. That conversation is your reconnection, and you must always reconnect with your people. You can't just do this once and expect results. You have to do it over and over and over. And guess what? When it comes to building relationships, it's never a two-way street. It can become one, but it always starts with you. You have to be the initiator. You have to have the giver's gain mentality. You have to be the solution for them. You always give and you expect nothing in return. And that's how you properly stir, which is STIR, surprise, teach, create inefficiencies, and then reconnect.